Today's question is, I would love to make my own SVGs, and I'm still not sure about infusible ink. This is the Creative Crafters podcast, and I'm Bette from Bette's Makes, and this is your questions answered. So this is kind of a two-part question. Would love to make my own SVG files. Now, the understanding of SVG is just that they are graphics and they're vector graphics, which means that you can pull them apart and shape them any which way you want and make changes to them, so it makes it really easy. And that differentiates from PNG, which is a solid design, and you can, although you can stretch those, it's not quite the same. With an SVG, you can actually make changes. Now, in order to make your own SVGs, you need special software to do that. You cannot do it in Design Space. However, several different places will allow you to have an SVG. For example, Canva right now allows you to save anything you have created with them as an SVG file. So that is one way to do it, but that is prepackaged things. If you want to make your own, you can use things like Inkscape, which is a free software, and you can do your own drawings there and then save them as SVG files. Or if you're like me, I pay a little extra and I use Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and then I can make all the SVG files I want. I can save them in any kind of format I wish. But that is going to cost you approximately $50 a month in order to do that, whereas Inkscape is free. Now, the second part of this question was still not sure about infusible ink. Now, infusible ink is like sublimation, which means it is a special ink, and when you press it into a polyester blend fabric, it becomes part of the fabric. So that's what infusible ink is all about. If you use a regular pen, it won't infuse into your fabric, it won't infuse into a mug. So you need that special infusible ink in order to make mug designs and have them permanently there. And the same goes with wearables. You need some sort of infusible ink, or you can simply get the sublimation inks and a special printer that you use in order for that ink to get into the clothing or the wearable and the mugs or any other surface that's treated properly to accept that infusible ink. Now, for a regular mug, it is not often coated, so it won't accept the infusible ink. I recommend you buy the mugs and design items right from Cricut in order to get the right material to get that infusible ink working. Now, you can have a sublimation printer, which is another story altogether. So between making your own SVGs, which my recommendation, Canva, Inkscape, or Illustrator, and then using infusible ink, use it on special paper, and that will work a lot better. There is a lot more to it, and we'll try and answer that in another Your Questions Answered. This has been the Creative Crafters podcast and Your Questions Answered.